Have you ever wondered why the more you resist something, the more it persists and grows? This profound question was at the heart of the work of Carl Gustav Jung, a pioneering psychologist who left an indelible mark on our understanding of the human mind. Jung's groundbreaking theories on the conscious and unconscious mind have shaped psychology as we know it. One of his most intriguing concepts revolves around resistance. Jung believed that when we resist something, be it a bad habit, a fear, or a negative thought, we unintentionally give it power, allowing it to take root and grow within our unconscious mind. This resistance, far from eliminating the issue, only serves to magnify it, making it a more potent force in our lives. So compelling was this idea that it led Jung to declare, "What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size." Let's unravel the mystery of our minds as per Jung's theory. Carl Jung proposed that our mind is divided into two essential parts, the conscious and the unconscious. The conscious mind, you might say, is the captain of our ship, making daily decisions, processing thoughts, and navigating life's waters. It's our awareness, our present moment. On the other hand, the unconscious mind is like an iceberg submerged beneath the surface. It's a vast storehouse of emotions, memories, and primal urges. It's the part of us that operates behind the scenes, influencing our behaviors, attitudes, and reactions in ways we often don't realize. Now here's where things get interesting. When we resist something, be it a fear, a negative thought, or a bad habit, that resistance doesn't stay in the conscious mind. Instead, it burrows deeper, embedding itself in the unconscious. And the unconscious mind, unlike the conscious, doesn't recognize denial. It doesn't differentiate between what we focus on and what we resist. To the unconscious mind, attention is attention, and the more we give, the stronger these resisted elements become. This is akin to a child throwing a tantrum. The more attention you give, even if it's negative, the more pronounced the tantrum becomes. So when we resist, we're essentially feeding what we want to diminish. Thus, the unconscious mind doesn't differentiate between denial and focus, making the resisted elements stronger. The battle within, a crucial driver of our lives. This battle, this tug of war between the conscious and unconscious minds, is not just an abstract concept. It's a daily reality, a constant presence that shapes our decisions and stirs our emotions. But why is this conflict so influential? Picture it this way. The conscious mind is like the captain of a ship, steering us through the waters of daily life, making decisions based on what it can see. But beneath the surface, the unconscious mind is like a powerful undercurrent, unseen but potent, carrying with it a cargo of emotions, memories, and primal urges. And when these two forces collide, it often results in internal turmoil, influencing our choices, shaping our reactions, and coloring our emotions. But there's hope. In the midst of this internal storm, Carl Jung presents a beacon of calm, acceptance. Rather than resisting the undercurrent, he suggests we acknowledge it. Instead of battling the waves, we observe them without judgment. We allow our thoughts and feelings to exist just as they are, without trying to suppress or alter them. And what comes from this acceptance? Freedom. Freedom from the emotional charge that these thoughts and feelings often carry. Freedom to make more conscious choices about how to deal with them. The battle may still rage on, but with acceptance, we're no longer passive participants. We're active navigators, charting our course through the tumultuous waters of the mind. Acceptance lessens the emotional charge, enabling us to make more conscious choices. Ignoring or suppressing, neither is the solution. This is a concept that Carl Jung, the influential psychologist, deeply emphasized. According to him, the act of ignoring or suppressing certain thoughts or emotions only amplifies their presence. It's akin to a pressure cooker. The more we try to keep the lid on our feelings, the more the pressure builds, and eventually it has to release. And when it does, it can be explosive, disruptive, and often quite damaging. Jung proposed a different, more effective solution, making the unconscious conscious. In other words, instead of burying our fears, desires, and insecurities deep within our unconscious mind, we should bring them to the surface. We should try to understand them, acknowledge them, and most importantly, accept them. By doing so, we can gain a better control over our lives. This is because when these suppressed elements remain in the unconscious, they can influence our actions and decisions in ways we are not aware of. They become the unseen puppeteers, pulling our strings from the shadows. However, once we bring them into the light of our conscious mind, we can see them for what they are. We can understand why they exist and how they affect us. But making the unconscious conscious is not an easy task. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to confront parts of ourselves that we may not like or feel comfortable with. It requires us to face our fears, to challenge our beliefs, and to question our desires. It's a journey of self-discovery that can be difficult and challenging, but also incredibly rewarding. By facing our suppressed elements, we can understand them better. We can find ways to address them, and in doing so, we can regain control over our lives. We can break free from the invisible chains of our unconscious mind and live more authentically, more consciously, and more freely. Remember, the first step towards solving a problem is recognizing that there is one. So don't ignore or suppress. Face your fears, confront your insecurities, and challenge your desires. Only then can you truly understand yourself, and only then can you truly be in control. We need to face our suppressed elements to regain control over our lives. Resistance, a barrier, or a signpost? This is a question that Carl Jung, the influential psychologist, urged us to ponder. He invites us to reframe our perspective on resistance, seeing it not as an obstacle to be overcome, but as a guiding signal towards deeper self-awareness and transformation. According to Jung, every shadow in our unconscious mind, every fear, every negative thought we resist, holds potential for growth and transformation. These shadows are not merely dark aspects of our personality to be feared and suppressed. Instead, they can be transformed into sources of strength, acting as catalysts for personal growth and self-improvement. Imagine our subconscious as a dark room. The things we resist are just like shadows cast on the walls. Instead of turning away from these shadows, Jung encourages us to shine a light on them. As we illuminate these hidden parts of ourselves, we can begin to understand their origins, their impacts, and how they shape our behaviors and decisions. This illumination isn't about eradicating our shadows. It's about understanding them, learning from them, and integrating them into our consciousness. It's about turning what we once perceived as weaknesses into strengths. It's about taking charge of our lives rather than being driven by the unseen forces of our unconscious mind. Now, this is no easy task. It requires courage, patience, and acceptance. It requires us to face the parts of ourselves we'd rather not see. But in doing so, we foster a deeper connection with ourselves, leading to profound personal transformation and growth. This transformative process allows us to move from a reactive state, where we are constantly responding to external stimuli, to a proactive one, where we are in control of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. It empowers us to make conscious choices about how we navigate our lives, rather than being at the mercy of our unconscious impulses. True freedom, according to Jung, comes from nourishing the soul and transforming our unconscious shadows into sources of strength. So, let's take Jung's wisdom to heart. Let's embrace the shadows, understanding that resistance is not a barrier but a signpost towards self-awareness and transformation. Let's turn our fears into fuel, our doubts into determination, and our resistance into resilience.